play Gran Turismo episode 8. So, last time out you may remember we notably completed the FR challenge if you have seen the previous segment I did. And well, notably overall, lots of you may think that for my next one I'm going to use the obvious but debatable choice, the Turismo 400R. And well, to anyone who thinks I will use this car, well, I'm afraid to say that whoever says I'm considering using the Turismo, you are unfortunately wrong. Because, well, since I have some money, I might as well spend some of it. So, I did have a look through to see what four-wheel drive cars were available to me, as I now head over to Nissan, the used car lot, and I eventually decided that the car I was going to go for, if I can find it, yeah, was this. The Nissan Skyline GTR R33 from 95. This is the car I have eventually decided that I am officially going to use after doing some scouting. So, yep. So, purchasing the car now, and of course, it is now time for us to do some serious tuning. So, we head over to Turismo, obviously going to put on the racing muffler, because obviously, you essentially cannot be competitive enough to win a championship in the special events, as well as also with most of these other events unless your car is tuned. And obviously that is essentially what I'm doing. So, just gonna put some power on. And well, I think that's a bit much in terms of port grinding, so I'm not gonna bother with that this time. And also, this is one of very few cars that can actually have the increasing displacement, as well as the engine balancing. But unfortunately, no engine tuning because, well, this car's a turbo. Don't think I need to upgrade the transmission, but I am going to put on a racing intercooler. And also furthermore put on a stage 1 turbocharger. So just gonna put on a sports suspension just to give my car a little balance, and also the stabilizers front and rear. And also furthermore, yes, I really do love that jingle so much. That jingle is just so good. Anyways. And also we are going to get the tyres. So semi-racing softs, both the front and rear, as you can see here, because obviously we need a grip. And of course we are going to head over and do some weight reduction. Okay, so done stage 1, and I think that'll be it from the tuning side of things, but of course, unless I need to do something else, I'm actually not going to bother. So, this car of course was originally 1,530 kilos, but now of course, as you can see here, it is now 1,453 kilos, essentially. And this of course is the car we are going to use for our next championship, the 4-wheel drive challenge. The ultimate battle of 4-wheel drive sports cars. 4-wheel drive challenge, 3 races. So as you can see here, 3 races like it has been essentially with all the other B-class events in this game, as which we are going to Tri-Mountain Reverse, Grand Valley Speedway, and Special Stage Route 5 as our 3 circuits for this championship, and of course pretty much the same value for money as it has been with both the FF and FR challenges respectively, as the perfect amount of money you can officially win from this championship is about 29,500 credits. So 3 races like it has been with the previous championships, and now we are ready to get going. So let's see how we do. It is now time for the 4-wheel drive challenge. Hopefully, if it's possible, we can conduct some success. I may not necessarily put this car on the pole, but hopefully if it's possible, I will be able to win the championship, essentially by winning at least 2 out of 3 races. And so the competition we have here, of course, in this championship, well, we have a Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 3 GSR, a Toyota Celica GT4 with a Subaru Legacy Wagon GTB, and also a Subaru SVX version L, also known as the Alcyone. And also, in case if anyone was thinking I forgot, the only other Nissan we officially have in this event, besides my Skyline, is the Nissan Pulsar GTI R. So, that of course is our grid order for this championship, and now we shall head to qualifying, and we shall see how we do. Even though obviously qualifying pace is not going to be as quick as my race pace, but yeah, let's see how we go. I have officially put this car on the pole by over 1.6 seconds ahead of the Lancer Evo 3. The Pulsar eventually managed to qualify 3rd for this event, ahead of the Celica, and then there was the Alcyone, followed by the Legacy Wagon, as the final grid order officially for this race. So, surprisingly, I have managed to put this car on the pole again, but again, because I have done this event before, no new quali records, unfortunately. So, an additional 1,500 credits for clinching the pole, and hopefully if it's possible we should be able to win the race as well. So here we go, it is now time for the first race of the 4-wheel drive challenge. Here of course at Tri-Mountain Reverse, and me of course essentially using the Midnight Purple, and me of course essentially using the Midnight Purple Nissan Skyline GTR. To me, it doesn't officially get much better than this. A Midnight Purple Nissan Skyline GTR in this championship, from a personal point of view, like I said, it really doesn't get any fucking better than this. So, I figured of course that, well, since I absolutely dominated this championship with my Nismo 400R previously, I figured of course that essentially my best choice was to basically try something different, and maybe if it's possible I might still be able to win the championship. But anyways, it is debatable, unknowing of course if I either will or won't win this championship. But hopefully, as long as I don't make any mistakes for these 3 races, and whilst I know I am making my car bounce, hopefully, if it's possible, I can officially make it a perfect run of 27. hopefully. And also, furthermore, like I said, of course, with rubber banding, his AI are definitely keeping up with me rather well. As I can see the Evo is definitely battling with the Pulsar for second. At least I think it's the Pulsar in third. So entering the hairpin, trying to keep it nice and tight, also trying not to slide into the wall, or essentially slide into the mountain, I should say, because, well, this is Trial Mountain. So through the first tunnel, now heading through the second tunnel. I still managed to hold on to the lead. And keeping it in third gear just so I don't spin. And got a little bit of a bounce there on the exit, but still managing to keep it under control regardless, as we now enter the final chicane, keeping my car on the ground, and it is going to be victory for the Skyline. Just narrowly edging the Evo 3. So that, of course, is your final order after race 1, as I, of course, have narrowly managed to edge out the Evo 3 for the win. We have the Pulsar in third, so respectively both Nissans are on the podium, and we also have the Toyota Celica ahead of the Alcyone, and also the Legacy is currently last. But yeah, there we go. So, after one race, I already have a 3-point lead. And well, to anyone asking if I'm going to save a replay, well, not yet. I will save a replay eventually, but I just need to decide on which replay that's going to be. Anyways, we are now officially going to Grand Valley Speedway again, which is officially for the second time in this game, and also, ironically, the first time we are actually driving on the normal course in a championship. So, let's go to qualifying and see if we can once again put the Midnight Purple on the pole. I have officially managed to put this car on the pole once again by just less than 4.5 tenths ahead of the Evo 3. The Celica eventually managed to qualify third ahead of the Pulsar, and then we have the Legacy ahead of the Alcyone, who officially rounds out the grid. And also, furthermore, a relatively close qualifying session, considering I only managed to put this car on the pole by less than 4.5 tenths, and also furthermore with his AI, there's only really 1.2 seconds from first to last. But yeah, that's just the way it goes. So we are on the pole once again, and oh. Also, I forgot to mention, the reason why I have 50 credits less than I had, of course, after I completed the FR challenge is essentially because, well, I washed the copperhead. And essentially overall, after I have won my other prize car from this event, I will officially be able to show you what the car wash is, to anyone who is curious. But yeah. That, of course, is your starting order, and, well, for most of the grid it seems relatively different compared, of course, to race 1, because the Celica is ahead of the Pulsar, and furthermore, the Legacy Wagon is ahead of the Alcyone. So, let's see how this race goes. It is now time for race 2 of 3 in the 4-wheel drive challenge. Can we win? I hope so. But we'll wait and see. If our attempts are proven to be successful. We shall wait and see. And trying to avoid the grass, but somehow I did weave a little bit there because I wasn't keeping the car straight. Well, looks like we're back under control now, as we are heading up, of course, to the second hairpin, or heading down to the second hairpin, I should say. So, keeping the car under control at the moment as we head through the first chicane. And it's also quite a wide chicane, if I do say so myself, because essentially overall it's quite wide on the entry and it's also quite wide on the exit as well. So through the first tunnel, now heading through the second tunnel, as we are managing to keep this car under control, trying to avoid the wall as we cross over the bridge. Now heading into the third tunnel before the chicane, and getting a little loose there, as that probably costed me the spot to the Evo, but I believe it's possible that has not costed me too much. And there was a bit of contact there between the Celica and the Evo 3 on the exit of the chicane. There was definitely some contact there. I saw it with my own eyes. So the Celica is now up into second, ahead of the Lancer, and then I think it's the Pulsar in fourth, ahead of the two Scoobies. So onto our second and final lap of this race, as we are now heading downhill into the second hairpin. And also getting a little bit skittish there, or skittish I should say, if I'm making sense. But yeah, there of course is the lake, which is essentially at the side of the circuit, and I am off on the grass. But somehow the Celica does not make any attempts to barge into me. So yeah, GG. So yeah, I must admit to the Celica that is GG. And for the moment I am managing of course to fend off the Celica at the present time. And also this field is relatively close, like it was at Trial Mountain. And the Celica has definitely run wide there on the entrance to the chicane, or the exit to my correction. And looks like it's going to be close, but I'm just about able to fend off from the Celica. And it is officially win number 2 for me. The Skyline in Midnight Purple has secured victory. By less than 3.5 tenths. And we now have a tie for second, going in of course to the final race at Special Stage Route 5, and also, as well as that ironically, we also have a tie for 5th. So it is going to be interesting to see who will officially secure second, as well as who will officially secure 5th. But with the Pulsar, I would say it is very likely that he will probably finish in 4th, unless he manages to finish in second, and it's probably dependent on knowing between the Toyota and the Mitsubishi which one will officially win. But anyways, yeah, So 2 out of 3 for me in terms of wins in this championship. And, well, I think I will save a replay. Even though essentially overall, I probably think, you know what, I'm not going to, I'm just kidding. Yeah, sorry, I'm just kidding. I'm actually going to save a replay for the final race of the 4-wheel drive challenge, because it would easily make more sense to see this car in midnight purple at night, rather than seeing it in the day. So it is going to be interesting for this final race to see who will officially secure second, as well as also seeing who will officially secure 5th. But well, as for the Pulsar, I would very much say he is probably going to be secure for 4th, unless I know either the Lancer or the Celica, respectively, drops out of contention. But we'll wait and see. And also, between the two Subarus, there is also a battle for 5th that needs to be decided. So here we go then, it is now time for our 3rd and final qualifying session of this championship. Here of course, at Special Stage Route 5, Reverse. 3rd race did not go as well as the first 2 qualifying sessions did, and well, I'm guessing, as far as I know, this is probably the punishment I get for putting this car on the pole for the first 2 races at Trial Mountain and Grand Valley. So this is probably the slap on the wrist I officially get for putting this car on the pole in the first 2 races. Okay, so I am 1.3 seconds off the quali pace, but hopefully my race pace will not be that far off these AI, because again, like it has been with the previous championships, I only really need 3 points in order to officially win the championship. And well, since I know very well the championship for me is already decided, all I really need is 1 point, and then I am officially secure for the championship, because we have a tussle going on for 2nd, but we also have a tussle going on for 5th. So it is now time for the 3rd and final race of the 4-wheel drive challenge, Special Stage Route 5, Reverse. And hopefully with the Skyline GTR we can hopefully emerge victorious once again. So I'm already up to 4th after the first pretty much 500 meters, I think, as I of course am now up into 2nd, and I'm having a tussle with the Evo 3. The Celica is planning on making a move on the Pulsar, and there was definitely contact there before the chicane, so those two are fighting for 2nd. And I of course was almost forced into the wall by the Evo 3. Oh, dicks. And essentially, because I know very well this AI can tend to be very aggressive, they will very much tend to force you into the wall if you know very well that you are essentially going too slow for them. And there of course is the Pulsar, currently up into 3rd, and I just made a lot of contact with the wall there. And I of course am still chasing down the Evo 3, and it's going to be a drag race. But it looks like I clearly have the advantage in terms of straight line speed. It just depends on knowing if I can keep my advantage going through the corners, and I braked way too late. going into the first corner. Now going through the chicane, heading down the straight, before essentially heading into the second hairpin. Keeping it nice and tight, just so I don't get forced out wide again, like I did on the previous lap, which is precisely what happened. And, oh, that's a wall. Well, looks like the Evo 3 is still fighting with the Celica for second, and it looks like it could be the Celica on this occasion, because he has managed to overtake. The black Celica is officially up into second, and it looks like second place is officially going to be handed to the Celica on this occasion. But for me, it is going to be 3 out of 3 victories in this championship, and once again, for the 4th consecutive time, I have officially scored 27 points. And, oh, okay, well, that was definitely a close finish, but unfortunately, I am completely wrong. The Celica, in the end, I'm assuming because he must have hit the wall, had eventually ended up finishing in 3rd, or he was essentially forced out wide. Okay. So, just trying to correct my arithmetic, and yeah, so, I of course have won the championship by 12 points over the Lancer Evo 3 GSR. Then it was the Toyota Celica Evo GT4 that was eventually given 3rd over the Nissan Pulsar, and we had a tie for 3rd in this championship, but it looks like 3rd place was given to the Celica on this occasion, because notably overall he finished 2nd at Gran Valley, and it looks like it was also the Alcyone, or SVX version now, that eventually managed to secure 5th over the Legacy Wagon GTB. So 27, 15, 12, 12, 5 and 4 are your final point standings for the 4-wheel drive challenge. But yeah, still, I will admit, overall, that was a good race. That was definitely a good race. Anyways, 5,000 for winning, and I of course am going to save the replay because it literally just makes so much more sense. Oh. To officially see this car in midnight purple at night, because obviously I do like seeing these cars in their nighttime forum, especially after a race on one of the city courses. Anyways, championship bonus, another 10 grand for winning, and we also once again get to see the trophy, and we have also won a new car as well. Our first of 2 cars that we can officially win in this championship. And whatever that car may be, we are about to find out. And so this is the first prize car we win. A Subaru Alcyone SVX S4. Our first prize car from this event, and also we are now going to save the game and see how many attempts it will officially take us to win the other prize car from this event, which I do believe is a Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 4. As far as I know, the other prize car we can obtain from this championship. So let's head back over there and see if we can win it. This, because well, unfortunately for my 2 previous attempts, I only really won the same car as I won on my first attempt, which was the Subaru Alcyone, and essentially overall I sold both of those cars because I knew very well that since I already had the car itself, I was not necessarily going to accept another one. And also, quite surprisingly, the past few attempts, of course, with this championship have been very interesting. And oddly enough, I think this one is probably the most interesting of them all. Because even though the Subaru Impreza Wagon WRX from 1996 had officially clinched second, but he only scored 13 points. And furthermore, from the Pulsar down, of course, to the Evo 3 GSR, we had a three-way tie for 5th. And also with the perfect 5 of consistently finishing last, we had the Subaru Legacy Wagon GTB. Pretty much just like it was on my first attempt, but yeah. Still, I will admit, that's insane. And well, the reason why this is my third attempt as well, as I said before, on my 2 previous attempts, I only really scored the Subaru Alcyon, and well, I've already saved a replay, so don't need to do that again. So, championship bonus, 10,000 for winning, obviously, and we also get the trophy, displaying we are the series champions. And we also get a new car as well. And whichever that new car will be, I am hopeful that whilst this is my third attempt of doing this, it will be the one I want. But yeah, just to summarise my 2 previous attempts in trying to get the other prize car. Well, on my first one, I scored another perfect 27, but got the Alcyon. Second attempt, I scored 24 points because, well, I lost at Route 5, narrowly to a GTO that was about 40 horsepower more powerful than me, or 40 horsepower more than me, I should say, just to simplify it. And well, I'm hoping on my third attempt I will be successful. Also, furthermore, just a note, I did also wash this car as well, and yes! We have officially got the other prize car from this event, and it only took me 3 tries to officially acclaim this car. A Mitsubishi Lancia Evolution 4 GSR is the other prize car that we win from this event. So yeah, but just before we save the game, I just want to show you guys the car wash, which is here, and well, I shall show that to you, because even though I did record this on my second attempt, this is the official attempt onto where I officially show off the car wash. And well, subsequently overall, I now have 24,000 more than I should have, but essentially that's mainly because I sold 2 Alcyons. But yeah, those are the 2 prize cars we win from the 4-wheel drive challenge. A Subaru Alcyon SVXS 4, and also a Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 4 GSR. So now we are going to save the game, because after 3 attempts, I finally got the Evo 4 GSR. But yeah, so there we go. That was the 4-wheel drive challenge. Next up is the Lightweight Sports Battle Stage. Stay tuned for more GT1.